Hey, what's up everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, coming at you with another video. Thank you guys very much for taking time out to check it out. I really appreciate all the love and support lately. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button if you haven't done so yet, because I'd appreciate that as well. And I just wanted to jump right into this because this is very funny to me, and I just absolutely love the goalposts when they just get pushed and manipulated, and the damage control, and it's funny. And I'm going to link this article in the description so you guys can read it for yourself and see what you think about it. PS4 Pro upscaled to 4K and Xbox One Scorpio native 4K, quote, difference won't be noticeable to the untrained eye, according to a developer, the Rhyme developer. He says, for the mass consumer, I don't think it will be all that important. Now, this is funny to me, but I'm going to read a little bit more from this article, basically, and here's how it goes. There's an argument to be made that the Sony really cheaped out with the PlayStation 4 Pro, their quote-unquote premium high-end PS4 system that is meant to be a more powerful iteration to the base PS4 hardware. While the omission of a Ultra HD disc drive has been well covered by now, there is also the simple fact of the matter that the PS4 Pro is simply far too weak to manage native 4K rendering. Let's see, and then it goes on. This is a little bit of damage control here. To Sony's credit, they have more than made up for that via an ingenious upscaling technique that they call checkerboard rendering. But there is also an argument to be made that there's a difference between native and upscaled 4K, and that is where everyone we'll see. This is an argument that becomes particularly pertinent when one of the consoles that Microsoft has openly promised native 4K gaming on the Scorpio. First of all, Sony didn't invent checkerboard rendering. Quantum Break used checkerboard rendering, and the media laughed at it. They still called the game 720p. The Sony fanboys still called it 720p. No matter how you tried to spin it, they all still called it 720p. So this guy, his name's Jose, and he handles PR for Tequila Softworks. Basically, he spoke to Gaming Bolt, and he gave his personal take on this issue, and he says, I think that the difference between Scorpio's native 4K and PS4 Pro's upscaled 4K won't be noticeable to an untrained eye. To the mass consumer, as a matter of speaking, I think it won't make a lot of difference. Of course, to the very technical consumer, or one very into the latest technology, it will matter, definitely. But for the mass consumer, and that is where the money is, I don't think it will be that important. Oh, really, Jose? So that's not important, although when there were these huge surveys done about why people picked a PS4, the number one reason was 1080p. Sony did nothing but push that. They pushed that so much that it is a thing now. You know what I mean? People look at all the articles about resolution, and there's not a huge difference between 900p and 1080p. There's a much bigger difference between, say, 1400p and native 4K, or even 1800p to 4K. Much bigger difference between that than 900p to 1080p, but that was a huge difference. Remember? The media, all the sites. Look up how many articles and videos there are about, haha, Xbox One version 900p, PS4 1080, right? And even when both were 1080, how often did we hear that PS4 was the most powerful console, 50% more power? And even when they were both having, like, GTA 5, both of them 1080p, Digital Foundry found more grass on the PS4 version, and therefore that was the one that they suggested that people play, right? I mean, so that's the world we live in. But now you have all these people damage controlling, saying, oh, there's not going to be a big difference, you can't tell the difference. I mean, really, come on. When I said you can't tell the difference between 900p and 1080p, people like went on a witch hunt, like burn me at the stake, you know, chasing me down. You know, now when I'm saying, hey, there is going to be a pretty big difference between native 4K and like 1400p or 1800, you guys are all trying to tell me that there's not going to be a difference. And then, of course, this article kind of ends off. It says, I think that arguing about whether or not someone can notice it is missing the larger point. It's not like the Xbox One is too, quote, noticeably weak relative to the PS4, for example, but the PS4 being more powerful works as a talking point, a marketing bullet point, a soundbite that Sony uses as a refrain to push the PS4. That will now be the advantage that Microsoft will have with the Scorpio, and maybe that will make all the difference in the world. That's exactly the point. So you have not only the media bias, because we're not going to see these resolution debates with Scorpio. We're not going to see 4K Xbox Scorpio version, 1440 PS4 Pro. We're not going to see any of that, so get that out of your head. If you're an Xbox guy, forget it. The media is not going to do that. They will not put Sony in a negative light. You're not going to see any more resolution comparisons. You will see stuff from Digital Foundry, but they're going to go, even though it's not full 4K native, the PS4 version holds up well. It looks really good. So it really is just depending on which one you want to play. They're going to do that a lot. I can guarantee it. Second of all, I think that not only do you have media bias, but you have developer bias. The developers that all said, well, there is a difference. Even Witcher 3, right? The Witcher 3 developer, even they chimed in when Microsoft even had marketing rights with Witcher 3, and they're like, oh, well, there's going to be a difference, 900p to 1080p, but of course now, native 4K versus upscaled 4K, there's absolutely no difference to the untrained eye, apparently. So that's good to know. I mean, if that's true, then there shouldn't have been any kind of videos or articles about 720p to 1080p or 900p to 1080p, right? So you guys feeling full of shit? Are you going to keep moving those goalposts? It's absolutely ridiculous and funny at the same time. And yeah, it's just, I knew the narrative would change, but who knew it would change this much? I mean, damn funny. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off, comment, rate, subscribe, rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.